Have you ever wondered what would happen if most of what humanity was taught about Jesus was only part of the truth? That there's a hidden part buried not by time, but by shadowy forces, forces no one dares to mess with? Welcome, viewers, to Chrono Depth, where we brush off the thickest dust of history to uncover the hidden truth. The story you're about to hear is not for the faint of heart, because everything begins on a freezing winter night in 1987, in a remote land near the Turkish border. A strange man, hands trembling, throat parched, didn't even manage to speak a full sentence before knocking on the door of an abandoned monastery. No lights, no people, just the howling wind outside, a creaking wooden door, and a knock that sounded like fate itself. He called himself Matteo, a freelance archaeologist, but don't be fooled. He was also a tomb raider, a profession infamous for its dangers. In his hands was a leather-bound notebook, tied with moldy old string, and a strange piece of fabric wrapped intricately as if hiding a secret. His eyes weren't merely tired. They were haunted, terrified. The only monk left at the monastery said Matteo managed to whisper just 2 words before collapsing. I saw where he lay, and it was empty. 1 week later, Matteo was found dead. A grim yet pitiful posture, lying on his side in the cold room, eyes wide open as if he had seen something that scared his soul out of his body. No one paid attention to what he left behind until a curious local journalist decided to examine each item. The most horrifying was the map. It wasn't a normal map. It was made from human skin. Yes, human skin. And the drawings weren't made with pencil or ink, but with dried blood, as if the blood itself had been transformed into a terrifying path leading to a place no one wanted to go. At the edge of the map, a scrawled note read, "The tomb of the one who rose. It still exists, but no one dares to look inside." The newspapers back then just ran it as a small oddity in the soft news section, and the story faded into oblivion. But it didn't end there. In 1992, a secret group of scholars in France, calling themselves the Watcher's Order, quietly purchased the map. They brought in blood-decoding experts, lab techs, and the shocking result, it was real human skin, real blood, and DNA that science at the time could not decode. They sent samples to a cryptography expert in Poland. After weeks of study, it was confirmed that the destination corresponded to a restricted mountain region in northern Israel. That's where it began. 7 members of the group set off to find the real tomb. People waited anxiously for good news, but what came back was silence. Not a single one returned. Silence thick as desert fog. 25 years later, a local villager found a torn backpack in a ravine, a rotting diary, an old tape recorder, and a blood-stained map fragment. In the diary, the writer's shaky hand described how they discovered a tunnel behind a massive stone. 3 days without food or sleep. Inside was a cold, empty stone chamber. No artifacts, no remains. Just a nameless stone slab and a message carved into the wall. He has left this place. But you are not permitted to enter where he once lay. That same year, media coverage dried up. The Israeli government declared the area a top-secret military zone, national security priority. Locals reported hearing strange sounds from the mountain at night and silent military convoys coming and going like wartime. No one dared approach. An elderly priest who left the Vatican once said, "If the true tomb is uncovered, the entire foundation of faith will be shaken. There are powers that will never allow that to happen." In 2017, a private lab in Canada obtained a tiny sample of the map's blood. The results stunned the scientific world. The blood type didn't match any known human group. The genetic code was unidentifiable. There were faint traces of radiation, like ancient relics. When these results leaked onto an independent science forum, the website was mysteriously deleted forever, as if the internet itself knew not to keep such knowledge. In 2021, a couple illegally traveled to the region. Their camera last recorded a glowing blue light emerging from the mountain like a living breath. But 3 days later, they vanished without a trace. The embassy refused to comment. The original map is now completely missing. The last known holder was an Italian scholar found dead in a locked apartment. The official cause, natural cardiac arrest. But he was still holding a piece of paper that read, "Once the door is opened, no one will return." So, what is so terrifying that it's being buried by governments, militaries, and religions alike? If Jesus truly resurrected, why is there still a tomb? And if the tomb still exists, what really happened 2,000 years ago? There are two truths, one that is preached and one that is buried. What do you think? Leave a comment. If you have the courage, subscribe to Chrono Depth and join me in uncovering the layers of hidden truth. Because sometimes the most terrifying thing isn't what you know, but what you're not allowed to know.